Hello and welcome to Riddim Rudiments, episode 31. Today I'll be playing from page 56 of Billy Martin's Riddim, Claves of African Origin. It's the 3-2 side of an Afro-clave in 4. And this one is subtitled Samba Nova. And it has the doubles on the bass. The doubles being pickup to each beat. A 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, boom boom, boom boom. Boom, 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 a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, E, and a 1. The left foot hi-hat chuck part is chuck, 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 1 E, and a 2, and 3 E, and a 4, and so the first half, well, with the bass drum part, each beat is the same. With the hi-hat left foot chuck part, each half, the first half of the measure is the same as the second half of the measure, so it's a 2-beat pattern. And you could think of this as 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3 1 2. If you look at the lines compared to the notes, it's a group of 3, a group of 3, a group of 2. But when you lay that across the 16th note 4/4 grid, is 1 E and a 2 and 3 E and a 4 and chuck, 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 chuck. And that is the 3 side of the clave, the basic clave pattern. So it's like you're doing that 3 part of the clave for both halves of the measure. The basic 3-2 clave would be 1 E and a 2 and a 3 and 4. Chuck, 2 and 3 and 4. But this bell part, I forget which number variation. I think it's the 7th variation in the book, counting the basic one as the first variation. So it's gang 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 gang, a 1 and a 2 E and a 3 and 4 E, a 1 and a 2 E and a 3 and a 4 E, a 1. And then the left hand high tom part, there's no low tom in this one, just a high tom part, is the same as the first 2 notes of the left foot part, but it's missing the 3rd note. So it's dom, 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 1, a 2, 3, a 4, 1, a 2, dom, 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 dom. And I would say this is one of the most difficult ones in the book so far. So for that reason, I'll only be doing the 7 essential rudiments, which are single stroke roll, multiple bounce roll, double stroke roll, 5-stroke roll, paradiddle, flam, drag. I would say this feet part is what the feet coordination is what makes this difficult. And the backing, it's at 85 beats per minute. And the backing track I made is Lydian based. G flat, major 7, sharp 11 for 10 measures. And then there's a 2 measure, wait, no, I'm sorry, for 6 measures. And then there's a 2 measure turnaround that goes E flat minor 7 for half a measure, D flat major 7 for half a measure, C minor 7 for half a measure, F minor 7 for half a measure. So if G flat is Roman numeral 1, the turnaround is 6, 5, 4, 7. But with a Lydian mode, it's Sort of hard to make one sound like one because there's no dominant 7. Five chord. So it's almost like the F minor 7 is sort of functioning as 5 to tonicize 1. I don't know if that makes sense, but hopefully you'll hear G flat major as 1, even though it's sharp 11. And because the 5 chord is major 7, you can't really use 5 the way it normally functions as dominant to tonicize the tonic. If you're not careful, then the 5 chord will sound like the 1 chord. So hopefully you'll hear what I mean. And so far with this series, in case you're tuning in for the first time or in case you haven't realized, I don't think I ever actually said it, but so far what I've done is to challenge myself to keep the feet going from the rhythm book while I do the rudiments with my hands. Okay, so for that reason, I'm doing the rudiments slower than normal, just to get the coordination smooth. So for example, the single stroke roll is written as 32nd notes. I'm playing them for this as 16th notes. Basically half of what they eventually should be, just to get it smoother. Okay, so I'm going to start the backing track and then play through it. Okay, so something I've been meaning to do is to show you the logic file that I'm using for the backing track. So, I'll do that now. So here is Riddim Rudiments 31. It's hard to point with the camera like this. And basically what I do, hopefully I'm pointing this close enough. So here, these muted tracks are my recreation of what's in the book. You see I have a mixed low. Let me turn them up a bit. I need 2 hands to do that. Let me just crank it here a bit. There. Wait a minute, I'm only getting one side for some reason. I'm not sure what's happening, sorry. And then I duplicate the bass drum part with an orchestra. So that was all the African kit. And then just mostly for myself so I can hear it better, I duplicate the bass drum part with an orchestral drum. So here's the African kit. Here's the orchestral. Here's together. So this is actually a 5-part. Oh, I know what happened. No, I don't. Well, I'm having some kind of technical problem with the either the MIDI audio interface or my monitor speakers because I'm not hearing the left side right now. So maybe I'll show you this a different time, but well, let's see if the other parts work. Basically what I do is I double the bell part with a Wurlitzer. Yeah, well, these are set to the center at the moment, so this should be fine. So that's a Wurlitzer playing the bell part, and I just add notes. So the turnaround's coming up here. And I just pick different modes for different ones and whatever I think sounds good. Somewhat random, but I try to have a variety from one to the next. So then this is a Turkish oud lute. Or is it Turkish? Yeah, Turkish oud lute. Doubling the left hand high tom part with just adding notes to the rhythm. So that's one reason I recommend this book to any musician or even non-musicians for that matter, but especially musicians, even if you don't play drums. Really, you can play any instrument. All you have to do is add notes to the rhythms. And then it would repeat. So then the left foot part, I've added an organ. In the beginning, I was trying to do both feet part with the bass, but that didn't really work for this one in particular. So, and I think I should have not done that necessarily in the first place. So here I've added an organ part, doubling the left foot part. I'll put the count on.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And I imported this counting from my metronome. That's this here that I had to chop it up into beats so I could change the tempo and have it still line up right. And that's mostly just for me to make sure. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I leave that in there so that the listener can know where one is, because myself as a musician, learning music over the last 30 years or so, sometimes I would find it frustrating when the person demonstrating any whatever rhythm, or it's usually a rhythm that I'm talking about, if they don't tell where one is, then it's very confusing, especially if they're starting with a pickup note, or if they're varying it without telling you, or if they're playing it very fast. If you're unfamiliar with this rhythm, it might be hard to tell where one is. So I leave the count in there, not just for me, but so you know, so we can all agree on where one is. And now my speaker's distorting.
1, 2.
So that's in there mixed low, the count. Okay, then these 3 tracks here are a triplicated bass part. And I mostly did that because for whatever reason, when I'm playing along with it, the bass gets lost more than anything. So I triplicated the bass mostly for me. Also, when Fred comes to jam with me, he often has trouble hearing the bass when I'm playing the drums, because drums are just inherently loud. So it's difficult to get the bass loud enough, and this, with 3 different bass sounds, it helps. So I have an upright jazz bass. That's the main sound. I gotta turn it down. And then another double bass. There's 2 different upright bass sounds. One's more thuddy, one's more articulated. And then this is a Motown electric bass triplicating the part. So here's the 3 of them together. Other than my speaker distorting, it helps to bring out the bass, to have those 3 different, at least it's an experiment. Let me know what you think, if it helps to hear the bass drum part cut through to get a nice full sound. Okay, then this is, I guess you could say, for ambience. That's in there. It's low, lunar strings, mixed low. And you can see I have the click going as well. Then I've double that with a sitar, just playing whole note roots. So here are the 2 of those together. So you can see I have that mixed low. Then I have a gong when the cycle, so I have this whatever number of measures looped. I have a gong cue at the top. Actually, 3 different gong sounds here. Just playing one long note. Let's see how long it lasts. I guess by the 5th measure, it's pretty much died out. Then at the end of the cycle, however many measures I'm doing, I have from the African kit this tambourine type. I don't know what it is. I think it's a tambourine or something like a tambourine. Yeah, I think it's just a... on the cycle before the gong to let me know that the turnaround is coming. So here's everything together again. Oops. On solo. Here we go. Everything but the drum part. So once I learned the part well enough, I mute the thing that I started with, which is recreating the drum part in the book, the Riddim book. I mute that and replace that with me playing it. So, let's see. You know, for now I'll leave it in there. So you can hear the rhythm parts doubled by the chordal instruments. Although I have the drums mixed low. So that's how I do it. I just add notes to the rhythm. And then I also recommend this, which is my belly dance playlist. Hopefully I don't get a copyright strike. That's Amira Abdi from Ukraine. But I have her, also known as Amira Raffaeli, same person. Up to 626 videos in my belly dance playlist. And I have this playing on mute while I practice shuffle play. And well, I'll show you how, even though they're not dancing to this music, it's close enough that it's a good inspiration. And you can find that belly dance playlist in my profile. Okay. Hopefully that's good enough for now. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you next time. Bye.